Seriously, what the hell's wrong with you people?
We're bad guys. It's what we do.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Strong Arm Flix. Hey, what's going on? Sorry about being late, guys. Really late. 45 minutes late, somebody pointed out. Sometimes it be like that, y'all. Sometimes it be like that. What up, Brandon Pittman? What up, Pedro? We won't give up ever. Slipknot fan, 45 minutes late. Yeah, I know, I apologize for that. The Movie Raider. T-Flame, so much truth and lies finally brought to light recently. Absolutely. Also, guys, I put a link in the chat, not in the description, in the chat, just in case. Hello. All right. Oh. Well, talk to me, guys. Talk to me. What? The freak has been good. Should I give me my strawberry smoothie? It's pretty fire, actually. Pretty good. All right. So, let's jump right into it, man. So, James Gunn's Book of Lies coming to light. WBD's Book of Lies coming to light. You know, we was told multiple conflicting things by James Gunn. I don't, one of these days, maybe on the next live stream even, I've got to get a compilation together of all the things that he has said, because a lot of the things just like, have flat out not been true, not been accurate. He's flat out, early on was deconfirming a lot of information, that big news sites and articles that were dropping at the time about information about the direction that he was taking DC in early on, and he jumped on and was like, no, that's not true. This ain't true. This we ain't decided is true. And most of the things that he came out and deconfirmed ended up being the case, being the truth. I seen it. Somebody had a couple of things that he had posted and had them together, and he conflicts himself. Like, he's got conflicting social media posts. He posts conflicting information, and then later on he goes down and he fights, and essentially argues with himself. But the main thing I want to touch on, which broke probably a couple of days ago, really is about Henry Cavill being back as Superman, was the most disheartening by far, for sure. So we've got an article, guys. Yes, I actually have an article for us this time that we can jump into. Hopefully Jeffrey Warfield can make it to the stream tonight. Don't know for sure if he will or will not, but we shall see. All right, so, and Forbes posted this. James Gunn says he was hired for Superman Legacy 6 months ago, raising Henry Cavill questions. If you need any further evidence about what an utter mess DC has been lately, look no further than something James Gunn has just revealed on Twitter. Gunn has posted on an Instagram story saying the Superman Legacy was in development before he and Peter Safran took over as DC studio heads. This led a fan to ask whether he meant Superman Legacy as a wholly separate project, or Henry Cavill's Man of Steel 2, which they changed to a Superman Legacy and didn't bring Cavill back. Gunn went on to clarify that no, really, Superman Legacy always existed as a separate project. Okay? Right there, separate project. He was hired to write it 6 months ago, well before he was given control over the whole DCU. this is news to everyone because the common thought was that Superman Legacy was Gunn's idea as the genesis for the new DCU that he concocted after he was given the job. So basically, there was a power struggle once again within Warner Brothers. So basically, Henry Cavill was back as Superman, and somebody made a post. I'll have to see if I can dig that up, which showed all the official Warner Brothers sites announcing Henry Cavill back as Superman, showing him as showing clips from the first Man of Steel, from the Man of Steel movie with Henry in the suit, in the Superman suit, and all that shit. They had Henry come out and announce it on social media. So again, within Warner Brothers, we've got people all over the place. There's too many cooks in the kitchen, like always. So pretty much somebody, from what I can understand, that maybe somebody from the old regime basically greenlit this project for Gunn a while back, and essentially they decided not move forward with Henry Cavill as Superman. What's up, Jeffrey? There you are, my man.
Hey, just got the link. Just got the message now. Sorry.
It's okay, Jeffrey. We were talking about the Henry Cavill situation. Yep.
Yeah.
So, Jeffrey, now that you're on, what are your thoughts on, so we were reading this article by Forbes, and this news broke a few days ago. I know I'm a little late on it, but still, what is your take on this? James Gunn says he was hired for Superman Legacy 6 months ago, raising Henry Cavill questions, and basically 6 months prior to Cavill, almost 6 months prior to Cavill announcing he was back as Superman, he was hired to write Superman Legacy, and Gunn clarified that it was a separate project that was always in development and wasn't his idea. Basically, Warner Brothers wanted someone to make a Superman Legacy film. So we had a Superman Legacy film going on at the same time there was a Man of Steel 2 going on.
Yep.
It wasn't greenlit, but there was a script being made. You had a Man of Steel script together. Behind closed doors, they told Henry basically he was back for it. And this was also part of the old regime's bullshit.
Yep.
If I remember correctly, the timeline, Jeffrey, 5 or 6 months before Henry Cavill announced his return, leading up to the release of Black Adam, wasn't that still old regimes type shit? Weren't they, some of them still in the door?
Yep. And those were also when the rumors, and also 6 months ago, is around the same time that those Henry Cavill returning as Superman rumors were going on.
Yep. So there was truth to it.
Yep.
There was some truth to it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, because I want to read this again, Jeffrey, just because you're just getting on here. James Gunn posted on an Instagram story saying that Superman Legacy was in development before he and Peter Safran took over as DCU studio heads. This led a fan to ask whether he meant Superman Legacy as a whole was a whole separate project, or Henry Cavill's Man of Steel 2 was changed to Superman Legacy, and then they decided not to bring Cavill back. That was the question.
Yep.
And they say Gunn went on to clarify no. In reality, Superman Legacy always existed as a separate project. So this isn't even a Gunn project.
Yep.
He's going to be writing it, directing it, all that shit, obviously. But this wasn't even, this wasn't even something that he came up with.
Yep.
So basically, when they approached him about doing a Superman movie way back, and he said that he turned it down, he lied through his teeth.
Yep.
Basically, he just wanted, he had some terms that needed to be met, and they basically folded back to his will. And then he agreed to do it, and he never said nothing to nobody.
Yep.
That's what happened.
Yeah, and there's really a lot more darker undertones going on with this Henry Cavill situation than people think, because someone actually brought it up to me on Twitter, and he basically sent me a link on the advertisement laws saying that it's against the law to false promote something and basically it says that what you sent me was that it's basically against the law for advertisements to be untruthful and lie to the audience and what's being given, and really when you and the guy also kind of brought it up to my attention that Warner Brothers at the time, Walter Amada, Toby Emmerich, whoever of the old regime, said that it's okay for Henry Cavill to announce himself as Superman, even though that was never going to be the case. So basically, like Warner Brothers and by extension Warner Brothers Discovery kind of broke the law by having Henry Cavill announce him returning as Superman for the future, even though that was never going to be the case.
Yeah. So that sounds like maybe that could be a legal battle.
Yeah, like that really was something that I didn't even think about until recently, but yeah.
And you know what this feels like to me? This feels like one last fuck you from the last regime to the fans. And they got their way, is what it seems like to me.
Yeah.
Seems like as the last execs were on their way out the door, it was one last monkey wrench that they threw into a burning, blazing fire when they stepped out of that building, trying to say, fuck you guys. You know what I'm saying? That's what it feels like to be honest. And honestly, their business practices, and like I said, the fact that the old regime had a separate project going on, right? And Zaslav or whoever decided to move forward with it, that's one thing. But the new regime, Zaslav and his team, are the ones that brought Cavill back, told him to announce he was back.
Yep.
And then essentially fired him. After you had promoted it on all your websites, you know, on your big main official Warner Brothers sites, that's illegal. I mean, you can't, like, and Warner Brothers has been playing cat and mouse and peekaboo with this bait and switch bullshit, bro, for a full decade.
Yep.
And when is there going to be consequences? Because a lot of people think that it's just about Snyder. It's not.
Yeah.
Snyder's been removed from that company for so long now. It has nothing to do with them and the decisions that they make. You know, the true reason why this studio and this DCEU, whatever you want to call it, is in shambles is because of poor business practice by this studio.
Yep.
And I don't care if you're a Gunn head, somewhere in the middle, a Snyder head, a DC head, a real DC head, real DC fan. I think that everybody should be able to agree that Warner Brothers is a fucking joke and that the decisions that they're making, like literally, you're telling me like, and that makes a lot of sense. That's, you know, that seems illegal.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know all the technicalities. I mean, I'd have to look into it, but yeah, I mean, it seems like there could potentially, if somebody, pushes for it, seems like there could potentially be consequences legal action taken against the studio for their practice that they, for the decisions and the stuff that they've been doing. And them, they've been doing this for a long time, and this shit's getting old.
Yeah.
Wow. See, Jeffrey Warfield bringing that fire. I want to say what up to the jumper. Let's jump into some of these comments. Hunter Iggy, what's going on? Hunter Iggy, what's up? Brandon Pittman, the jumper. Jason Gallego. I can't say it. Great discussion, fellas. It's a shame that WBD can't blame Cavill for Black Adam not making huge money. It was an excellent movie, big time action, but this didn't promote it fitting in Snyderverse. Well, no, they didn't do enough to promote the movie. They put a freaking $100,000, $200,000 damn near into marketing for the Batman, but they didn't put jack shit into Black Adam, and it's because it seems now, as more information comes to light, that they were trying to derail Black Adam because Cavill's involvement in it. And because The Rock was supposed to have some sort of a future and some kind of say-so there at Warner Brothers, that, he was an advisor at the time, which I wonder if that position is still there. They liquidated it. I guarantee you, they booted him.
Yep. And thinking about the advertisements real quick, this is actually something I brought to you behind the scenes about how there was actually a new Magic Mike movie that came out that came out like a few weeks ago, like around the Super Bowl time. Yeah, actually it came out on Super Bowl weekend. Yeah, it was, and that new movie that came out was a new Magic Mike movie. And it really, you don't really know that it came out yet. You really don't know if it came out unless you were actually trying to physically really hard look for promotion for it. Like, this is how insanely low the movie made. So basically the promotion was only one poster. And that was pretty much it. There was only one poster for the movie, and that was just the promotion of it. So then here's the insane part. It only played in 700 theaters. It only played in 700 theaters. And it only made, and here's the thing, the news says that it made the highest rating, it was the highest grossing movie in a Super Bowl weekend. And here's the kicker, and there's a little asterisk to it. It was only $8 million. It only made $8 million at the box office.
Oh my God.
And it's still called the highest grossing movie in a Super Bowl weekend. Like, really think about that. Like, you're making a trilogy movie, and that's the thing. This was the third Magic Mike movie, apparently. Yep. And it made...
I know, my girl's really into that. I know.
and it made $8 million at the box office. With only 700 movie theaters having it seen, with 1 to 0 promotion. Like, really think about that. Like, if they don't, and that's the thing. I really don't care about the Magic Mike franchise at all. But to have a trilogy movie, period, be not promoted to next to nothing, and having it only make $8 million at the box office with only 700 movie theaters showing it. It's like, what are they doing? Like, what are they doing with this? Like, we know they're in debt. You would think they would want to make as much money as possible.
Yeah, exactly. And again, like usual, and look at the same old ass executives that are out of touch with reality acquired this company again through another buyout. We thought that was gonna be different. No, he's just an old ass old head who don't understand what he's doing, don't understand the IPs that he owns, and like usual, he basically leached on to James Gunn, used James Gunn's tie with the MCU to get a meet and greet with Kevin Feige, and he's basically sitting down and he's going to try and, mirror the MCU as much as he can, and that's essentially what they're going to do.
Yep.
And then on top of that, it's not going to be just like that because it's James Gunn. So James Gunn's going to like these little C and D list characters that are real obscure, that he can make jokey and quirky and dark in his own weird way. So you'll have a lot of that shit thrown in there too. But all the heavy hitting projects, which ain't many, they're going to be a mirror image of the MCU, but in DC format. And I can't wait to see that. It's going to be an absolute shit show.
Because really, like, when, apparently, like, having the Creature Commandos start off the new DCU is like, who are the Creature Commandos? Like you would always think it would be Superman to be the start of it.
Right.
But really to have the Creature Commandos who I do believe, I believe some people know them. Like if there are people who know them, they are like very few, because if you see on Twitter, people were on Twitter going on like, who are the Creature Commandos? Like, really, it's just really odd that you would want to start off your new DC Universe reboot with the Creature Commandos.
Right. And the Jumper raises a good point. I'm confused on why people are blaming The Rock about Henry Cavill being fired.
Yeah,
absolutely nothing to do with The Rock. The Rock's the one that fought to get him back.
Yeah, he was trying to get him back. Like he said, I think he said ever since 2017 when they went sent to Justice League, he was trying to get Henry back. So he was like trying to get him back for years. So I don't really see why people are blaming The Rock.
Yeah. And to be honest, it's just a shame that they just destroyed all the, I'm more sympathetic towards The Rock than most people are.
Yeah, me too.
You guys gotta understand whether his movie was a masterpiece or a flop, it doesn't matter. The movie wasn't terrible. He fought tooth and nail to get some kind of Man of Steel, Snyderverse connectivity restored after the old regime left and during, for reshoots.
Yep.
He fought to get our boy Henry Cavill back, which led, and to get him back as Superman, to get him back to have a Superman movie, to get him back, in his film, to fight for him, for the two of them to have some kind of creative control over what they were going to do.
Yep.
And all that shit. And The Rock was very, very passionate about making Black Adam, about getting in shape for it. He got in the best shape he's ever been in his life.
Yep.
He was geeked. He was pumped. And this piss poor company took a steaming shit all over him after his movie came out. And, they just did. And they destroyed everything that he was so passionate about in an instant. Ripped the rug out from underneath Henry Cavill. So I don't see how The Rock is to blame for any of this. He's just an actor and a guy that was passionate about being a superhero and getting in the best shape of his life to make it believable and fighting to get Henry Cavill back. Just them things alone, you should be able to ride and get behind for it. All that other shit, he is not in charge of. That is Warner Brothers, which is now Warner Brothers Discovery.
Yep.
So I don't get it. I don't get the narratives pushed out there. Of course, Warner Brothers would want you to blame The Rock.
Yep.
Clearly, Gunn was, in my opinion, I don't care what Gunn says. Zaslav and Gunn, or Gunn was fighting, trying to get Zaslav to outrule and overrule Henry and The Rock because he wanted full control. There was some kind of power struggle, is the bottom line. I don't know which way it went down, but there was another power struggle from within. Gunn's full of shit, but Gunn's telling us enough that we have enough to go on now to make these conclusions.
Yep. Which, when you really think about it, does make sense now why he does have a app that apparently automatically deletes his tweets every few months. Because it's like, why would you say that? Like, why would you openly say that on Twitter that basically exposes something even further?
Right. And Pedro says, but have you noticed that The Rock hasn't said much since he and James Gunn spoke? I kind of hate that he on Instagram's all smiles, but doesn't want to say what his thoughts are on Cavill. Well, it's simple. His silence is very easy to read.
Yep.
He's extremely pissed.
Yep.
Cavill probably is too. But at the end of the day, he don't want to be blacklisted from Hollywood.
No one does.
What's going to happen? What's going to happen if he comes out? Nothing's going to change at the studio. All it's going to do is make other big studios not want to work with Dwayne Johnson.
Yep.
He comes out, puts them on blast, and says that, no, they fucked us. Gunn fucked you fans over. This, and that. He fired this and that. And he wants to, but he can't, man. I mean, this to us, this is, again, and I like to say this phrase, Jeffrey, to us, this is entertainment, whether we're passionate about it or not. But for these guys, this is their livelihood you're talking about.
Yeah, because
this is really their jobs at stake you're talking about.
Yeah, because it really, if you really want to go there, like, you know what, I'll actually go there. If there's a reason, like, Ray, like, I'm going to bring up Ray Fisher real quick to make this analogy, to make it make sense to everyone, saying, why doesn't The Rock say anything? Ray Fisher said a whole bunch of stuff and had been blacklisted from Warner Brothers. Like, he's been sort of blacklisted from Warner Brothers for speaking out on what happened. And now, so if you really think about it, from The Rock's perspective, he wants to do more work for Warner Brothers and wants to do more work, period. So he's just being quiet about it because he doesn't want to be blacklisted, which is why you have some people from a long time ago, like from the Buffy cast, saying Joss Whedon did this during the Buffy the Vampire Slayer when that was still going on, because at the time, and this is actually what one of the cast members said, they were afraid of what would happen to their career. So that's why it took for a long time for the Buffy cast to come out.
Right.
What's going on, folks?
What's up, Brandon?
What's going on? I'm going to let Jeffrey finish what he had to say. Now I'm gonna speak my what I have to say about
I'm actually done.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I'm done. You can go.
Okay. No, I was just saying. I was about to ask you guys. Did y'all heard about this rumor that Ben Affleck's supposed to help Gunn with the new Superman movie?
No,
yeah,
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, I heard it. I don't really follow Truth 31 no more, but I kind of ran through his YouTube video, and he was talking about it, and I'm like, why would Ben Affleck been a part of that when he's been trying to get his own Batman stuff off the ground? They still gonna let him do that, or if they gonna allow him to be the new Batman for the Brave and the Bold, which I think they need to. Now, if they use I just hope they aren't trying to go forward with using Michael Keaton, because I think that's going to be retarded. Because I'm like,
yeah, I don't think they're going to use Michael Keaton for Batman: The Brave and the Bold, but stupid ass decisions is key at this studio, and it's been a long running narrative. So it wouldn't surprise me neither. But I think what they'll do is much like what Gunn's doing with this Superman legacy, they're going to cast someone entirely different outside of anybody that we know, and I think that's what they're going to do. I just do. And
right.
The way and with Ben Affleck, until it's officially confirmed, we've all been hearing that too. Not about this lady or whatever, but we've all been hearing about Ben Affleck possibly coming on as a producer on one of the new DCU movies, or maybe a director or credit or something.
Right.
But like I said, none of that is confirmed, and honestly, I don't really believe any of the bullshit that comes out of Gunn's mouth or this studio, because they lie consistently. I mean, they just a couple months ago, promoted Henry Cavill on every legit verified Warner Brothers account as being back, promoting the first Man of Steel, promoting Henry Cavill as Superman, and then had him come out and say he was back, only to say, nope, he's not.
Yeah.
Which Jeffrey was telling me is illegal, and there's actually legal ramifications and legal action that could be taken against them for that.
Right.
So, like I said, until it's confirmed, to me, that's just rumor. But, in my opinion, there is a small chance that, that Ben Affleck could, because, again, unfortunately, this mega giant studio, as much of a piece of shit that it's turned into, they own all the iconic IPs. I mean, think about it. Godzilla, Rampage, I think they own Power Rangers. I mean, DC, they own all of DC, and many, many more, like iconic IPs, pretty much all of the projects that The Rock has done has been Warner Brothers property.
Right.
So,
Go ahead. Go ahead, Strong on my fault. But no, I was just gonna say, it's like they can use characters to counter Marvel characters. They don't have to be specifically like Marvel, what Marvel's doing, but they could counter attack what they coming out with. Like, for example, like I was talking about when I was on the last stream with y'all about milestone characters. They can use milestone characters to counter what Marvel, because Marvel is trying to buy or trying to get X-Men. So why won't they just come out with a Static Shock universe and all those characters that's in Milestone to bring in your black fans? Because at one point they was gonna come out, well, Zach was gonna do, or they was gonna come out with a Cyborg movie. You can use Cyborg to introduce Static Shock. Or even John Stewart. You can use that to introduce like two of your most popular black characters. And back in the day, Static Shock was supposed to be the original black version of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying. It just me. I mean, I'm just saying. They don't know what they're doing with those characters. I wish somebody would buy out Warner Brothers to get those DC characters from under them, because they don't know what they're doing.
No, exactly. That's partially what this new hashtag shit is about. And right now, I was watching. I seen a live stream with Sil, and he was playing a Warner Brothers earnings call or something that was recorded, where Zaslav was asked about the properties, and he confirmed that whatever isn't in their plans, that that they have the greatest stories. That all he knows is that they have the greatest characters, the greatest stories, and if they can't utilize them to their fullest potential, then maybe somebody else can, and that they are up for it. He said this in an earnings call that was new and it was recorded, and he basically confirmed that if like another like mega streaming service or another like Universal or something, or somebody reaches out to them and they want, have interest in an IP that they own, and they look in their books and they don't have nothing on the books for it, or maybe they do, but not what they're trying to do with it, that they're interested in striking a deal. This is new. This was just like in the last 4 or 5 days, not even.
Oh, I didn't see that. It was on Twitter?
Yeah. No, it was from a Warner Brothers earnings call, I believe. And like I said, I seen it on Abdul's channel. He played it. He had the clip, and it was an official clip. Like it showed the Warner Brothers Discovery logo, and it's Zaslav with a phone interview with somebody, some interviewer, something like that. Earnings call, I can't remember exactly. But I was more interested in what he was being asked and what he had to say.
Right.
And basically, he doubled down on that they have full faith in James Gunn, which I didn't really care about that. He doubled down on that. But, the interesting part was that, like I said, they're broken in shambles, and they are interested now, at least Zaslav is,
right.
On licensing out these characters. Now the problem is that he's a bit of a hard ass when it comes to money. So if he wants too much money, no one's going to be interested. But the problem is that in my opinion, is that their reputation is so bad right now, and the shit that they do is just on blast to the public on some other kind of type of level, on some whole different shit, that it's like, will these other studios with these other streaming services even be interested in tying themselves up with this kind of bullshit?
Right.
And that's the problem. Obviously they're not never until they go completely bankrupt and they get their arm twisted. They're not never going to just outright sell the IPs for someone to actually buy, which is what they need to do, which is what the freak needs to be done. Because licensing them ain't enough, because, they're going to be in control still. That could potentially be like, oh, we get, a season of this, but then it does really good. And Greedy Zaslav's like, oh, okay, so you want to renew it for season 2? Well, now we're going to want double that price. And they're absolutely corrupt as fuck like that. And these other studios got to be thinking about this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure that this is why nobody's approached them as of yet.
Right.
Because of how they do things, because of who they are. And that's very unfortunate for the fans and everybody involved from top to bottom.
And the thing is, for me, even though I'm not the biggest Superman fan, but with the Henry Cavill situation, y'all still haven't fleshed out that character yet.
Nope.
I'm like, you haven't fleshed out he was going to be the hopeful Boy Scout towards the end.
Yep.
So I'm like, I don't understand, because I'm like, he looks like Superman. I'm like, who y'all gonna pick to play Superman if y'all get him?
He looks like him. He acts like him. The dude walks like him. He talks like him. This guy was born for this role, man.
Exactly. And I'm like, even with his British or his wherever he's from accent. Right. Besides that, the dude looked like Superman. I'm like, I'm just saying. I'm like, I don't understand. I just don't understand how they could have just left Zack Snyder alone and let him do what he had to do, so he could go on and just do, because he should have been done already.
Yeah, they would have already been done. This whole thing would have been concluded by now, and then they could, be failing at making a new universe earlier than they already are.
That's what I'm saying.
And then nobody would give a shit, because and because they've just got it so meddled. They've just meddled with shit to the degree that they don't see it, but they really have destroyed all faith in their fans. And the problem is that they consistently underestimate the power of the consumer.
Yeah, exactly.
And that isn't necessarily just Snyder heads. Okay.
Yeah.
That is your general audience. That is your, that is your hard fanboys. and everybody in the middle of that. They come fall somewhere in the middle.
I mean, and on top of that, when you I understand when people think of Batman, they think of Michael Keaton. I get the whole nostalgic reason for bringing Michael Keaton back, but I mean that's the only thing that's gonna make y'all money with the Flash movie coming out. That's that he's coming back, and I heard through the grapevine with him, they ain't gonna use him going forward. So it's like, okay, y'all just waste on him to bring him back for like just one movie. Then y'all cancel Batgirl because y'all said that movie was trash, and I even doubted they canceled Batgirl because I think the reason why they canceled Batgirl because they ain't had enough money to even bring that movie out. That's why I think it was.
Yeah, that's what I think it was too. I think that they basically was like, you know, we've got to put everything on hold. We're broke. You know, they could have finished it, I think, but I think it was just that their money was so tight, they weren't comfortable spending what it would have costed to finish the movie. So they just canceled it because they knew that it was an obscure project that nobody fucking asked for.
Yep.
And they were broke. And they were like, what do we do? Zaslav was like, chop it, cut it, get rid of it, burn it to the ground. And
right.
I think that's what happened. I think that's what it was.
Exactly. Now I don't have nothing against like this Blue Beetle movie that's supposed to be coming out. I mean, we need to see more characters that represent like black people and Hispanic people. I get it, but nobody didn't ask for that movie. We've been asking for I'll go back to us. We've been asking for a Static Shock movie for years.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're gonna bring out Blue Beetle, y'all should have bring out Teen Titans or something, or trying to combine Teen Titans with the Cyborg movie. You could have had those Easter eggs in the Cyborg movie. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, it's ways you could introduce all these characters to broaden out your universe. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. I agree 100% on that. You know, and you know, it's just like I said, it's just unfortunate because, you know, they got too many cooks in the kitchen 24/7. Yeah, that's all there is to it. And I feel like go ahead, Strongo. I'm sorry, this is your platform. I'm sorry. No, you're right. I just feel like the structure within Warner Brothers, it ain't even got to do with this Cape shit. It's bigger than this Cape shit. The issue that WB has. They need someone to come in and structure the inside of this studio. Like, they need to just go in, clean house, and they need to find a way to structure this studio so that there's levels to this shit. Because right now, it seems like everybody in there has a say-so over what's happening with one fucking project. That's not how it's supposed to work. There's supposed to be levels to this shit. Right. You know, a studio that size, that big, that rich, there's supposed to be levels to this shit. This guy down here on floor AB isn't supposed to have input on the top of the company with a fucking Superman project. And this guy down on here, you know, doing a janitorial position isn't supposed to decide whether Henry Cavill gets a fucking cameo or not. Like, I don't know what is going on inside this studio, but it's bigger than just the Cape shit. Like, unfortunately, that's the shit that's being affected the most. But overall, this company, it's not even the DC side of things inside the studio that need restructuring. This whole studio needs a power restructuring from top to bottom.
And you know what I would have done?
And this kind of shit wouldn't happen no more.
Yep. And you know what I would have done before I even got back into the DC stuff? I would have make amends and make everything better when you're with your big Warner Brothers directors. Like, say for instance, like Christopher Nolan. The first thing I would have done a meeting with Christopher Nolan. I would have said, okay, I want you back because we need to make this company need to make some more money. So whatever you need for me to do so you can make your movies, and you want to bring your movies back to the theater, because that's all he wanted to do. He didn't want to go streaming. He want to stay with doing his movies at the theater. So give him that platform and let him make whatever movies he needs to make. Then you go to Zack Snyder and let him do whatever the fuck he want to do, so y'all can make some more money. Because y'all, the company need money. That's all it need. It just need money so they can get their investors back. That's all it is. Basically.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they just need to get them, make money till they get their investors back. And I've yet to see them make amends with any of these, big directors like they came in preaching like they were, and like I said, Zaslav has already lied to the fans. He's already lied to the consumer. He's already said that put emphasis on the Trinity, came in and said that they were going to do the Trinity. He came in promoting Gal as Wonder Woman, Henry as Superman, Ben as Batman, and then he's essentially gotten rid of all three of them. Had Gunn get rid of all three of them since he's came into power. They preached, making amends with old creatives such as Nolan. They have yet to do so. They have yet to make amends with Zack Snyder. They've yet to do any of them things that they said that they were going to do. And just blowing smoke up your consumer's ass ain't going to work no more, because all your dirty laundry has been aired out for far, far, far too long now.
Yeah, and I think you can't just. I think the only thing is riding. Go back to the DC side, everything is riding for. I think for them is on this Flash movie, because they got Michael Keaton back, and that's gonna draw the general audience. Then I don't know how often, how many times they're gonna use Ben Affleck in that movie. I don't know if he's gonna be in the beginning, and they're gonna get rid of him, or he's gonna be throughout the movie. But I'm like, they could have did a better Flashpoint movie if they would have just kept Zack Snyder involved, because he would have took everything straight from the book. And I still wanted Thomas Wayne to play.
I know.
The guy who played Thomas Wayne.
And all this talent just laying around, waiting for a phone call that they're never received and are never going to, because the studio has got their head up their ass. This guy, I forget the actor's exact name right off rip, but it played Thomas Wayne though in BBS. Right. He's been sitting around saying he got an interview way back years ago, and he said, "Hey." Someone was talking about Flashpoint. They were talking about, would you be interested? Fans were, speculating that you'd be perfect they did the Flashpoint storyline, that you'd be perfect to play this version of Batman. And he said, basically was like, hey, my phone they know my number. Basically hey, I'm down. All these, what's his
Joe
name?
Manganiello?
Joe Manganiello. And Jesse Eisenberg, all these cats just sitting around getting interviews a couple years ago. Hey, they know our number. We're down. Hey, we're down for whatever y'all want us to do. You just get all this A-list, hard, heavy-hitting actors just laying around with the most iconic roles on the planet that Zaslav said in that earnings call. People around the whole world can sit down at dinner and you say Batman or Superman or Lex Luthor, and the whole world knows who you're talking about. Not just, Russia, not just China, not just the U.S. The whole world knows. And he said, we just got to do a better job at telling them great stories. And I agreed with that. I'm like, yeah, you do. And part of that is you need to restructure your studio. And there only needs to be X amount of people, maximum, fucking putting their input in on anything. I don't give a fuck what the media says. I don't care when a movie comes out, how many critics dick ride it or how many start hate bandwagoning it. Leave the shit alone. Once you greenlight it, follow it through, see it through. You know what I'm saying?
That's all that fans, because what you're doing is neglecting just getting rid of your main core fans that love the DC movies and stuff, regardless if they been fans ever since the Snyder started his movie stuff, or even old school fans or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I can do it to where that everybody is satisfied. You know what I'm saying? Now, what they should have did with Michael Keaton is did the Batman Beyond movie. That's what they should have did with him. They should have brought that back, and that's why I wouldn't even did the Batman movie. I would have grabbed Robert Pattinson to play Terry McGinnis.
Okay.
I would have grabbed Michael Keaton to play Batman in that universe, somehow bring back Tim Burton for that. Do however you want. He want to do some weird shit. Let that nigga do some weird shit. You know what I'm saying?
Straight out, yeah.
You want to do some weird shit? Let him do some weird shit. Because the fans want to see that Batman Beyond. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now back to the Zack Snyder stuff. You can finish out what you started with Zack Snyder, since y'all want to push we want to be like Marvel. We want to be like Marvel because y'all messed up his Superman franchise anyway, because he's supposed to be his solo trilogy. That's what it's supposed to be in the beginning. Like his Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, he's supposed to be his Man of Steel trilogy.
Right.
Then y'all could have did Justice League after y'all introduced Batman and Superman 3 and Man of Steel 3. Y'all could have introduced Batman, and that Batman 3 should have been Batman versus Superman.
Yep.
Man,
and, and a lot of people don't talk about this enough, but Zack's plan wasn't never to do BVS as the second movie ever in the franchise.
Exactly.
They had the script for BVS before he was even done making Man of Steel. I think it was before he even made Man of Steel.
Right.
And they wanted to hurry up and introduce as many characters on the same an ensemble, chasing Marvel. And he took what they had for BVS, and he adjusted the script with a couple of creatives to make it fit with Man of Steel and made a sequel. And they were the ones that wanted to rush the shit, not Zack Snyder. He worked with what they told him to do. He worked with what they gave him. And he had an initial plan, a 5-film arc, to conclude everything, to hurry up and get there, and like they wanted at the time. And then, they pulled the plug on that shit by movie number 2, basically. And then, them changing the DCEU to DCU, right off rip, copying the MCU right off rip, DCU, MCU. So right there is a clear indicator that they have not learned from their mistakes. Again, this is cape shit, but Marvel and DC are not the same thing. Just because it's cape shit doesn't mean it's the same thing. The characters are different, the tone is different, the universe is different. Just because it's cape shit, it won't work. The way that they've done the MCU, if you try to do DC like that, it will not work. It won't. It just won't. They've tried that. They did that with Justice League 2017. And I think, Paul Reeve said that they already tried that MCU format in 2017 and failed. I admit that it was an over-exaggerated form of the MCU recipe and came off more cringe than ever, but even a small amount of that will fail. Yep. And exactly.
They just, now it's like they ever since Zaslav bought the company, now it's in the deep hole, and you trying to y'all don't need to reboot nothing. Y'all already got a gold mine. Just finish what you started, then reboot everything. Cause you misleading the fans. The fans trying to figure out what y'all doing. Y'all ain't telling nobody nothing. Y'all keeping everything under wraps. It's like y'all still don't know what the fuck you doing.
Right, and that's exactly what it is, in my opinion. That's exactly what it is. And that's a problem. That's a big problem. Because until they admit to themselves and to everyone around them that they work with that they don't know what the fuck they're doing, then they're going to keep making these same dumbass mistakes. Like, just because you steal one disgraced Marvel director doesn't mean you're gonna make such a masterpiece of a fucking universe that's gonna take 10 years of investing in and almost $1 billion of investment. In the long term, if they actually crank out all these projects they say they're gonna do and they don't axe them, you're talking almost $1 billion or maybe more than that to make all these things. And where are you gonna get that money from? And how is it that you're so willing to put that much on the line when you haven't dropped this disgraced Marvel director has only had one swing so far, and the property that he gave us lost the studio more money than any DCEU movie to date, The Suicide Squad.
Right.
So I just don't understand this overwhelming confidence that they have with James Gunn just because he worked for Marvel at one point and did Guardians 1 and 2. I mean, like I said, yeah, that's great for Marvel. He took some obscure, unknown shit and and blew it, knocked it out the park with the general audience with them 2 movies. I get it. This is not the same shit though, and the problem is that they think that all cape shit is cape shit. You know, if he did that, he can do this too. No, not necessarily. And I think that he's already proven that he's not the right guy for the job. Not just based on him losing the studio $200+ million on the only movie that he made for the DCEU, but also the fact of the way that he handles his social media accounts and how he addresses the fan base. I think that he's proved on multiple levels that he is not the right man for the job. That he's incompetent. Yeah. Just like Warner Brothers.
And I saw a video. I ain't clicked on the video, but I saw a headline on a YouTube video that Gal Gadot is thinking about going back to the Fast and the Furious franchise.
Hey, I wouldn't, but I mean, well, right now, I mean, that's what they're doing. See, they're going to be real coy when it comes to Gal because she's a woman. Right. They don't care about pissing off the fan base, but they don't want the media, the actual media, after their ass. For coming out and if they announced that they were just straight fucked over Gal Gadot.
Oh yeah, they screwed up.
The Mary Sue and everybody, like all the big media site, like they'd be on their motherfucking head. And see, they don't want that smoke. So what they're gonna do is kind of similar with what they did to Henry Cavill, but see, Henry just came flat out and told us what it was, but like while keeping it professional and not throwing no low blows. He just flat out was like, "No, I'm done." Like, because this is the games they're gonna play. Oh, like James Gunn said, "Oh, we didn't fire Henry. No, we just don't have a project for him ever again. He's not fired though." Shut the fuck up, James Gunn. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what it is. That's what they did to Gal. And I'm just waiting for for it to be confirmed, because I know that's what it is. They're gonna say, "Oh no, we didn't fire her. We just, we ain't got no projects for nothing for her to do. No work for her. She's not fired though. She's not fired."
And I think, and that's what I thought. I think that the reason why Ben Affleck and his buddy, what's his name? What's the actor name? Matt Damon start their own little production because they weren't to do nothing. Because I think that stuff was already.
Because they learned it from Zack Snyder. Like, they're getting tired of playing these games. You know what I'm saying? Like, these big studios. They've been, and especially if you're a seasoned actor or a seasoned director, you've had a pretty decent, lucrative, longer career, so you can afford to, get a partner and invest and open some shit up and do your own thing. Then it's best to do it, especially in these times, because you can see what these studios are doing. Like Zach's got his own production team to do. That way, if he's ever doing a property and they start interfering, he can take control of that shit and at least get that one property out the door and finished on his own bread from his own studio without it going through Warner Brothers shit. Because that's when they meddle with the movies the most, is during pre-production or some shit.
Right.
It's when they start editing the film.
Like, that's what the
editing process, the VFX and then the pre-production is where they can take control from the director and make something entirely different out of something that you shot. And they can change the music. They can take alternative takes. They can cut shit entirely, rearrange scenes, and that's what they did to Suicide Squad. That's exactly what they did to Suicide Squad.
Exactly. I mean, I feel sorry for
David Ayer.
Yeah, Devier, man, they did him real dirty right in the same time they messed up the original Justice League movie that Zach did before he came out with his version. So it's like they did Devier so bad.
What's crazy is that they meddled with BVS, the theatrical cut, right?
Right.
They put a bastardized cut of that in theaters, and then after the negative blowback from that movie, Suicide Squad was due to come out not long after BVS.
Right.
So they actually did this shit to David, then Zach. They did it to Zach first with BVS, just not to the degree that they did that was outstandingly bad with Justice League later on. Right. So they did it to Zach first, let him deal with all the fallout, blamed it on him. Then when the next director's project was due to come out, because that director worked hand in hand with Zach, was going to give us something that was a direct continuity sequel to BVS, but expand the universe. They said, oh, no. They jumped all up in David's ass and took control of that property right out from underneath him. And he had no idea until it came out in theaters what they did to that movie. And Will Rowland said that he was outraged when he seen the project and the shit that they released.
Right.
And he still took the fall for the movie, thinking that, you know, it would keep him in their good graces and, you know, trying to be a good soldier because he's got this military background and he's real, you know, got this thing about following the chain of command, and I get it. But he did himself, unfortunately, no favors by being a stand-up guy and did nothing but F him over more. And that's why there's that saying, nice guys finish last. When you're working in Hollywood with these snakes, man, you the last thing you can be, exactly.
You gotta be dirty.
Yeah, because look how long has passed. We still have not seen that damn Ayer cut. Yep. And he just posted something with a new image of Jared Leto's Joker like 2 days ago.
Right, I just saw it today.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, it's just it breaks my heart because that the Ayer cut means so much to me. I've been wanting to see that thing since before the Snyder cut, man. Before the Snyder cut. You know, when the original movement was forming for the first time, huge on social media platforms, I was talking to the heads of the movement then, like, yo, wouldn't it make sense chronologically to get the Ayer cut out first before the Snyder cut? And they was like, no. They was like, David ain't trying to fight for it the way that he needs to right now. And honestly, the Snyder cut has got a larger following, and it's the information is already somewhat out there. We need to run with this, and then when we're done with this, we go for the Ayer cut. And that's what has taken place and transpired. Right. Multiple times, the movement pushing for the Ayer cut has been hijacked by David Ayer himself, trying to play softball with that asshole James Gunn and Warner Brothers. And it's done nothing but derail his chances of getting that movie released, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And, you know...
if I was David Ayer, I at least try to call and trying to talk to somebody like Netflix or Amazon. Yeah. See if they can buy their IP. That's why.
Well, a lot of that is that the studio really would be down with the financial side of that. But here's the issue. The issue is that now it's a real unique, sticky situation because they've already created a direct sequel and partial reboot of that movie. So when they come out with the Suicide Squad, now James Gunn is going to be taking the Suicide Squad continuity and characters moving forward and branching that into the new DCU. So here's the thing. If they come out with the Ayer cut, that's going to confuse the audience more. Because now you're going to release the real version of a universe that you soft rebooted and partially continued. Yeah. So then now that's sticky. Then on top of that, if this is another Snyder Cut situation, which we all know it is, and this movie is way fucking better than the theatrical version, this is another hit that the studio is going to take not only from the fans, but now the media is going to be on their ass about this one too. Like, wait a minute. Maybe these fans know what the fuck they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you guys are not making the right damn decisions here. Maybe Leto needs another chance, and so does David. Maybe Zach needs another chance. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they don't want to happen. So it's not about the money, because if it was just simply about releasing it,
right?
And Netflix was like, hey, you know what? Here's X amount of millions. What's good? Can we drop this? Zaslav, sure. But see, the ramifications and the implications that this movie will present and the problems that it'll present for them moving forward. Gunn can play coy and play games with David, and David can be naive and fall for it if he wants to. But let's face the fucking truth. There's going to be 2.5 years before Superman Legacy drops, right?
Yep. Right.
So between now and then, all they're doing is giving us the end of the Hamada Burger verse. So they have nothing new to give us for 2 to 3 years. This would be the perfect time if they were going to do the Ayer cut to do it. So the fact that they haven't done it and the fact that they're not talking about it means that they don't want to. Flat the freak out.
Yep.
And James doesn't want to.
And this is the thing too. like, like, if they really wanted to, like, there was actually a Scooby-Doo movie that was supposed to come out. Probably it probably would have come out next year, because of how close it was. But it was basically going to be a Scooby-Doo musical with the Hex Girls that was supposed to come out. I told you about this, T-Plane. And the Hex Girls is kind of like a subgenre of a Scooby-Doo fan base that people actually love. Like, people genuinely actually do love the Hex Girl stuff. So when people found out that it was that David Zaslav tax wrote it off, because that actually is the official news, he did tax write it off. The actual director of the movie actually said how close it was done. He said the voice recording was done, the audio was done, basically all of the audio, technician, casting, everything was done, and all that was needed to be finished was to animate the thing. So basically they just needed to animate the movie for it to be complete, and then David Zaslav could just tax writes it off for no reason at all, basically. And I saw the quote tweets on everyone, and people were upset, saying basically, so you're giving Velma season 2, but you're canceling a Hex Girls musical because all you need because this is how crazy it is. Like, I want people to actually look this up on YouTube after this live stream is done. Look up Hex Girls Scooby-Doo, and you'll see why people actually like those episodes. Like, people actually love those episodes with the Hex Girls. And I really am one of them. Like, I really was upset when I heard that movie was canceled.
Right, yeah. I mean, they're canceling a lot of shit. They're, on HBO as well. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan, that's his name. Yep, he was also the boys' Dean and Sam Winchester's father in Supernatural, and I really enjoyed that show. The finale was bullshit though, but I really enjoyed that. I really, really enjoyed that. Yeah, it was unfortunate that the COVID shit really affected the finale. They rushed it and changed what they were going to have. The initial script for the finale, Supernatural, was supposed to be bomb, and they just couldn't make it happen. So they went with this weird alternate finale that I didn't really care for. But yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, he's the man.
Yeah. I mean, I like that. I liked him ever since he played in The Watchmen.
Watchmen. The Walking Dead. He was Negan in The Walking Dead. He was, the comedian in Watchmen. He was, he played Bruce's dad and played Thomas Wayne in BVS. He's got,
He was going to be Thomas Wayne in the original Flash movie, but that's obviously not happening.
Yeah, because me and Strong just talked about that. I mean, I just hate it. I guarantee. I wonder if. Wait a minute, because I went back and looked at the Flash trailer, and it was they showed a part where Michael Keaton's Batman is touching the picture of his parents, so he's supposed to be playing a whole nother Bruce from a whole nother universe.
Yeah, he's supposed to be playing Bruce. So this really isn't Flashpoint when you think about it. Like, it's kind of like it's really more like a remix of the Flashpoint if you really want to think about it.
Right, because I'm like, okay, why he's touching the picture of him and his parents because I heard before the movie came out he was supposed to be playing Thomas Wayne instead of Jeffrey Dean Morgan playing Thomas Wayne. That's what I heard before they
Yeah,
when they
that's
was
what
working on the movie.
I
Yeah,
guess
I'm sure there's some shit that went down. They could probably explain all of that. They probably reshot it, changed it. That's what they do. That's what they're known for. What up, Sean Franklin? What up, Chubby Teddy Monster Productions?
Yeah, because someone actually told me this like a while ago, like before the first trailer came out, that basically, if you really think about it, if they wanted to credit everyone in the Flash movie on the writing side, there would be 14 writers in this movie. So, like, I don't know how many people they're gonna credit for the Flash movie in terms of writing, but yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting with the amount of rewrites that this movie has gone through since 2014. Because that's the thing, this movie has been in production for ever since 2014, and we're finally getting it with even though there was like a whole bunch of reshoots, a whole bunch of director changes, and stuff like that. So it's going to be pretty interesting seeing what the credits are going to say, really, more than anything.
Right. You right about that, Jeffrey, because the only way that movie is gonna make money is because of Michael Keaton is in that movie. That's the only reason it's gonna make some money because they've been through too much stuff with this movie. They had directors jumping in and quitting, then they had writers jumping in and quitting. So it's like all this stuff could have been avoided if they would have had Zach to finish his 5-story arc or had something to do with the Flash movie. So I'm like, either like being a producer or a writer or whatever. I mean, they just messed up everything. Zach could have been they not Kevin Feige for like being like him, but he could have like let people play in his little sandbox, but still have everything connected to that realistic universe that he created starting out with Man of Steel. So I'm just saying, like, it just messed up that's pretty much Frankenstein everything.
Yeah, so, if anything, the Flash might be more Frankenstein than Justice League, which is saying something.
Right. What happened on Mad Max's stream?
Yeah.
That Raul McMillan said that stream was nuts. Oh, maybe I'll check it out. Let's see. Chubby Teddy Master Productions. He said, "What a stream Mad Max had last night." Okay. I don't know what you guys are talking about, man. Talk to me, man. What's going on? I don't know what you guys are talking about. Hamada Burgerverse. Exactly.
But yeah, it really is insane. Like it's like this is coming from me, especially as I'm writing DC scripts. Like it's really crazy how messed up and crazy that WB doesn't know what to do with their DC characters, because it's like it's really easy, but it's like they're making it harder on themselves, because if you see me on Twitter, I'm saying that I'm making a John Kent and Lucy Quinzel script, and it's having all of these crazy ideas where it's like a slice of life story, and it's like the main conflict is with Lucy Quinzel and John Kent's different lifestyles, and it's also supposed to be leading into, and it's gonna have a hint into a Rose Wilson versus Deathstroke script that I'm working on as well. Like it's really not that hard, and I'm 23. Like as of right now, I'm 23, and I have this whole plan in my head.
Right.
And Warner Brothers Discovery, with all of their resources, is just throwing darts at a board. Like that's like I keep going back to that analogy. They're throwing darts at a board. That's all they're doing. and I really don't, and I really do, and I really find it frustrating, especially as a creative. Like, it's just insane.
I mean, they've been doing darts on the boards ever since the Richard Donner Superman movie. They've been doing this ever since then. When they messed over him, so it's like they've been doing all that way before that. That's why I will always respect Christopher Nolan, because I don't know what he had on that studio when he told the studio, "Don't mess with my Batman, or don't let other people use Batman or in a TV show until he's done with his version of Batman or whatever." That's one thing I really respect for what Chris Nolan did. Because I'm like, he ain't let nobody touch nothing.
Yeah.
Ron McMillan, he said DC's biggest problem was waiting for the MCU to become a juggernaut to start their own universe. The general audience had already picked a side, and anything that wasn't Marvel was going to be trash. And I agree with that.
Really?
But the thing is, though, too, is that mainly I think the biggest problem was trying to play catch up so damn fast.
Yeah.
Instead of starting slow, greenlight a Superman movie and a Batman movie in the same universe.
Yeah.
That are lightly connected. See if that works.
Yeah.
See if it works. See how the audience responds. If they respond good, boom. By the third movie, hit the train hard and running, and then keep that juggernaut going.
And Zach confirmed that was the plan, to have Superman, to have a Man of Steel 2, which was then going to lead to a Batman movie, and then they were going to do BVS. That was Zach's plan, but Warner Brothers wanted to rush to the Justice League, and so they just immediately went to BVS.
Whoa, hold on. Whoa. Hold on.
I mean,
long story short, Mad Max is getting heat from his community for not going against Skywalker before getting proof. He lost a lot of subscribers, but the channel needed a cleansing. Well, you know what? That's the case, like I said. The good for Mad Max for finally, you know what I'm saying, being fair and honest and standing like he says he always is, and not just deriding his fan base's train. And see, that's the problem, is that I've been seeing it for a while, is that Max is a great dude and all, but the people in the community that are around him consistently are just, they're too much, and they're the kind of people that constantly call out the fan base as being toxic or being this or that, but then they're over there attacking anything that has to do with DC, with the DCEU, with Snyder, with the Snyderverse, with the restore the Snyderverse, with any of that shit. They're constantly overly negative and toxic, especially a couple of people that I won't name. So I mean, if like he said, if the dude wants proof of whatever, but it is what it is. And like I agree. I agreed that something, if you lost a lot of subscribers, I feel bad for him, because I don't think he deserved that. Just for standing up and doing his due diligence and practicing what he preaches. At all. But at the same time, Max, if that happened, sorry to hear that, but you'll get more. You'll get more, and there'll be people that are down for you. If your audience tries to bend your will to make you agree with some kind of narrative that they're pushing, and you don't, they unsubscribe from you, then they're not the kind of subscribers that you want.
Yeah.
And I love and appreciate everybody on this channel, everybody that comes here. But if my own audience was ganging up on me consistently and basically telling me how to think, act, talk, walk, and feel, and were threatening to leave me over some stupid shit, I would be like, no offense to anybody, I'd be like, well, I guess you got to hit the door.
Yeah.
That's all there is to that. I'm not trying to stick myself in the middle of that situation by any means. Whatever the heck you guys are talking about, whatever's going on, I'm just reading it just now, like you guys all are collecting the information and giving my my opinion on it. So, as I definitely don't want any part of that. I try to stay far away from them situations. I got my own little corner over here, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
But I was more interested in them saying that Sil was on there. There was a feud with Sil. See, now, I would be interested in watching just if Sil was on there, just alone, just to see the kind of conversation that was taking place. Because Sil usually keeps it pretty solid with, and fair.
Right.
So I don't know if he was actually on there, or or if it was like the usual, and they were just bashing, and Sil's name was being brought up. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, for me, back to the whole DC movie situation. I and from this point, I just don't follow or just start liking everything they throw at us. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like y'all just throwing anything to see if people gonna react to it or see if we gonna like it. But I'm like, we was investing in those movies y'all had at first with Zach. I might be a Snyder coat, however they used to say it back then when the fandom started. But what I'm saying is, it's like y'all had a gold mine. They still haven't released how much viewers they had on HBO Max when that movie dropped. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people looked at that movie when Justice League, was that version of Justice League came out.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. Like, they really should have done that, but they really should have done that. And really, the only people that have done that are the international guys. Only the international guys have shown the number.
Yeah, exactly. There's still invested. Definitely. It's just, Jeffrey, I know you said that your battery's about to die. If you can't rejoin, thank you for being on the channel. I don't know what happened. Hopefully the stream didn't drop, as I see Brandon Pittman's live stream just dropped from the panel. And Jeffrey, you're frozen, brother. I don't know if you're frozen or if I'm frozen. Sil wasn't on the channel. Hold on, let's see. Sil wasn't on the channel, but there's been a war for about a year with certain members of Max's channel, which has caused drama. Superhero nerd debates that aren't that serious. Yes, I've caught a couple of them over the past year. And I know what you're talking about for the most part. But at the end of the day, it's just, I don't like, I have no problem debating with people, but I'd rather spend my time interacting with people that are, care about the same things that I do, that we have a similar interest, and talking about things with, then, sensibly. We can have a debate here or there, but I couldn't do a live stream where every damn week, I'm getting into an argument with somebody or someone's talking cash shit on my, channel. I couldn't do all that. Me personally, to each their own. But Jeff is frozen. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Guys, if you guys can hear me, let me know if you need another link. I know Jeffrey's battery was dying. I don't know what happened with Brandon. He might have had to go, but he seemed to just drop out all of a sudden. But yeah, so now, guys, let's get into this article, this last article. And this is about WBD. Yeah, continue. Man, if you don't get out of here with this damn, man, get the freak out of here. Warner Brothers Discovery revenue. Man, I swear to God. Really? I'm not turning on ads. You can kiss my ass. I guess we'll go to Business Insider. Your loss, CNBC. Got me fucked up. Warner Brothers Discovery revenue misses as media giant posts big loss. Warner Brothers Discovery reported its fourth quarter results after the bell. Read more on CNBC, which we just did. That's where I've seen it from initially, but really, that's you assholes. Really, that's all you got? I'm not going back there if they're gonna God, I really don't want to have to go on. Let's see what. Well, let's see where we can get it. You know what? We'll go to Yahoo. We'll go to damn Yahoo if that's what we got to do. Jeez, oh Pete's people. You see this bullshit? Discovery sinks on earnings. Weak advertising revenue. We were just talking about that, guys. Warner Brothers Discovery, WBD, reported disappointing quarterly results after the bell on Thursday as the company continues to grapple with increased cord-cutting, more streaming competition, and a double-digit decline in its TV advertising business. Network advertising revenue tumbled by 17% in the fourth quarter, or 14% excluding foreign exchange, after falling 11% in quarter three as macro headwinds continue to pressure legacy media giants. On the streaming side, the company failed to beat subscriber estimates, adding just 1 million paying users in the quarter, despite HBO Max returning to Amazon Prime Video channels. In addition to the debuts of popular original series like The Last of Us, which is fire, guys. The Last of Us and House of the Dragon, White Lotus, them are fire as fuck. The Last of Us, though, I'm really, really into The Last of Us, guys. Episode 6 is actually premiering Eastern time tonight in about 20 minutes, and I can't wait to see it. So far, it's been pretty fire. Warner Bros. Discovery shares fell as much as 4% following this report. Yeah, so there's a lot more here, but the bottom line is they're still losing money. They're losing lots and lots and lots of money, Zaslav. What are you going to do? Because I do not see James Gunn's movies ever coming out. I see a whole new buyout coming. I see a whole new buyout coming. A whole nother cleansing. A whole nother cleansing. And all of that shit. So, I don't know what they're going to do. What are they going to do, guys, to turn this company around? Because they have sank this company. And right now, it's been made very clear. Again, there's a video on Sill's channel where they talk. They have the WBD earnings call where Zaslav is being interviewed by somebody over the telephone. And he flat out says that they're up for licensing out these IPs. And that if they don't have, a plan for them, then, some of them, maybe they'll work better on different platforms. So basically, it's up to these streaming giants and these other companies to approach them and want to give them any bread for these characters, for the Snyderverse, so to speak. And we just got to keep, showing them that there is an audience for it and show them that it's a good investment. Brandon Pittman, my bad, I accidentally exited out. But yeah, it's just something that we're going to have to show them. And, hashtag sell ZSJL to Netflix, still trending. There's another trending event coming up. The last one, they knocked it out of the park. And honestly, I'm behind what they're doing. I'm not saying that I think for sure that it's going to work, but right now, why not? Why not try it? What is there to lose right now? You see what they're just happily to give us, which is a shit sandwich, and call it a Whopper. So, there's not really much more to be done out of the situation. And, James Gunn knew, I just wanted to talk about that. Like, he's proved that we cannot trust him or the studio, and legal action could be taken against them for probably along the lines of false advertisement. I don't know the exact details, but Judge Jeffrey was saying that it's illegal. You can't advertise on all your main channels that a big A-list actor is back to portray Superman, the most iconic superhero on the planet, and then have him announce it on social media, put it on all your main accounts, and then fire the dude and not do it. Like, that's false like there's clearly some kind of laws, like I would assume, in place for shit like that. Now, will we ever see anything happen? It'd be nice to see this company held accountable for once in their life. But I guess we'll just have to wait to see how that unfolds. But Jesus Christ, isn't this studio just a shit show? From Snyder filet mignon steak to Hamada burgers. That's pretty much it. Zachary Levi made a big deal on live that the general audience didn't like the Snyderverse. That's why they're moving on. So why isn't Shazam 2 tracking well? See, that's the problem. The general audience didn't have a problem with the Snyderverse. The general audience and the hard fans showed up over and over again. That's why Man of Steel and BVS and Suicide Squad made money, lots of money. They were extremely profitable. Anybody that says otherwise is full of shit, pushing an agenda. The problem was the critics ripped everything Snyderverse a new asshole. And then they tried to convince the general audience that they were watching shit. Dog shit. That's the whole problem. Because the critics were too fucking stupid to follow along with what was going on at the time. They wanted to be hand-fed the information like the MCU does, like to babies. And, but even the critics now that they know, now that all the hype surrounding the Snyder Cut, when they brought Zack back and interviewed him, and he got on people's streams, and they interviewed him, and the general public, more information started coming out from Zack about what the studio wanted, what he was trying to do, where he was trying to take the story to eventually give us that Superman that they all wanted in the first fucking place. They was like, oh, okay. So then they started seeing the Ultimate Edition of BVS, and like, you know what? It wasn't that bad. And they watched the Snyder Cut. It was phenomenal. Critics and audiences alike agree. It has got a 74% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes and a 94% audience score. 94. Critics and audiences alike agree Zack Snyder's Justice League was where the get was at, boy. So it doesn't matter. Even if you want to argue about what came prior to the Snyder Cut, the point is, with that movie and moving forward, the critics and general audience and hard fans were all on the same page. We're on board. You guys dropped the fucking ball again. And you're continuing to run the wrong fucking way. And that's the story of the studio's life. Of the last 2 decades. Almost 2 decades. It feels like. But, Zachary Levi, Zachary Levi is just kind of like Gunn. He don't know when to shut the fuck up. I mean, he had to make that video and get on, around Christmas time and open his big fucking yapper. And, yeah. And he's only doing that because James Gunn is going to give him a job. They're going to save Levi. So basically James Gunn's going to pick and choose who he wants. So you're not doing a full reboot then. You're basically taking the shit that Zack's universe, and you're going to pick it apart and remake his universe the way that you want. So it's not truly a full reboot. Do a full reboot, James. What's the problem? What's the problem? T-Flame, did you know Prey has a 93% rating on fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes? It's higher than the original Predator, and BVS has like 29%. It's way better than Prey. Yeah. Oh, I know. I didn't actually know. I didn't. I know about how much the critics are full of shit, and I know about BVS's rating. You know, and that's why I said the critics are the ones that tried really hard to convince the general audience that Zach's movies were shit. It wasn't the audience that had the general audience that had a problem. It was fucking critics, probably paid by fucking Disney, Marvel, to do so. Because I've never seen such a strong hate narrative against any ever in Hollywood. I do not know what Zack Snyder did to piss off. I don't know if he banged somebody's wife, but I've never seen nothing like it ever in my life. Never. I've never. Tell me, anybody in the chat, am I wrong? Somebody tell me a situation where you've ever seen such a hate narrative in your life for one fucking director that's actually a good dude and solid, unlike all these snake motherfuckers. You know, you got motherfuckers out here like Pedo James, just getting their ass pampered. Oh, good job. You know, every time they do something. And they can do no wrong. They can talk to little kids on some weird shit. No consequences. Zack Snyder, one of the seemingly most nicest, down-to-earth human beings I've ever seen. They fucking hate his guts. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. And I've never seen nothing like it before in my life. I really haven't. Sees the director, what's going on? The Flash is DC's desperate version of No Way Home. It's just hard to be pumped about anything anymore. I'm not gonna lie. I probably will go see the Flash movie. I know what I'm in for. I'm going to go into it cautious because I know there's a good chance that movie is there just to shit on fans like us. But Ben Affleck, Batman's in it. They got him in it as Bruce Wayne and as Bats. General Zod, they are back, bro. What? The rest of it is just a big, yeah. I ain't gonna lie though, that trailer did look kind of fire, but some of the CGI, I hope they fix that shit before the movie comes out. Guys, woo! Gunn is gonna do a cookie cutterverse. Yep. Pretty much. Right here, the jumper, I did not hear that. He says, did y'all hear that on the same earnings call, hold on. Did y'all hear that on the same earnings call, that's what I was talking about earlier, guys. One executive says that they hope the DC movies do well, but if they don't, they have a plan B. I didn't hear that part. Yeah, I just kind of look for the parts that I'm interested in. And then, you know, a lot of that shit's kind of boring, but yeah, no, I didn't hear that part. Yeah, well, hopefully it does terrible. They call Zack Snyder back. Unlikely to happen, but yeah, everyone seems to have forgotten about David Ayer's cut, bro. Ayer was done so dirty. Fuck everything else, DC. I'd rather have the Ayer cut than that new Flash movie. I'm just being 100. Give me the Ayer cut with minor additional photography like they allowed Zack. Like, give the Ayer cut the exact Snyder cut treatment that Zack Snyder got. or fought for, however you want to word it. Let him add like a couple new scenes with the Joker and Batman. You know, if they're not already in it. Like Wayne Manor burning down, the Joker there laughing with a can of gasoline and a crowbar with blood on it. You know, show me a flashback of Batman punching it, tackling him right after that. Punching all his fucking teeth out into a bloody mess. Like, there's so much potential there. Let me get OG Steppenwolf coming down in the boom tube. I want to see OG Steppenwolf looking out through a boom tube, like Darkseid did at the end of the Snyder Cut, at the third act with the Joker there. I wonder what that plan B is. Rob McMillan, aborting James Gunn's verse. Facts, bro. Exactly. Release all Ben and Jared's footage. Release all of that shit. All of it. Release the air cut. But, yep. Well, all right, guys. Been a great live stream. Jeffrey, you got anything you want to close out with?
Really just, it's, yeah, just really kind of been kind of hectic, but still we just got to keep on trucking. Warner Brothers, the Discovery will sell, and all we can do is just keep on trucking.
All right. Sounds good. Keep hope alive. Release the air cut. Hashtag sell ZSJL to Netflix, everyone. WBD will sell. And till next time, my friends. Peace.